Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here, and today we're going to be doing the third part of What of Deku at the stat level in Quirk. I hope you guys enjoyed the last part, and I'm actually recording the next part on the same day that I uploaded it, but you're going to be seeing this video on Wednesday probably. I really appreciate the support that you guys have been giving my channel recently. I'm going to be keeping up the 2 videos a week as long as I possibly can. There's nothing much else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get to the video.
Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
He tightens his grip on the maul and races forwards towards a villain. Shota is about to get hit by them, but Deku strikes down as hard as he possibly can with the strike of Thorn, almost knocks the guy out. He pulls back his maul then powerfully kicks him to the ground. "Don't hurt my teacher," he shouts. Once Shota hears this, he instantly blurts out, "Run!" Deku hears this and certainly contemplates running. "No, I'll help," he replies while shaking his head. Shota doesn't even reply since he's so invested in his fight, and Deku receives a quest. New quest, League of Villains. Defeat as many villains as possible. Quest rewards, plus 30 XP per defeat, plus 1 skill after 5 defeats. Deku uses this new motivation and begins fighting hard. With his strong and surprise swings, he can take out opponents swiftly. Many notifications begin to pop up, displaying the XP he's receiving. He kicks in a villain's knee, then strikes him in their jaw, knocking them out. Enemy defeated, plus 30 XP. This is his 5th opponent, and he receives a choice between 2 skills. Choose a skill. Skill, Beyond Leap. The user's overall strength as well as leg strength increases drastically for 5 seconds. Speed also increases and allows for a high leap. No HP will be lost on impact with the ground. Plus 3 strength, plus 2 speed. Skill, Tears Fury. All physical stats increase, but a user's drive to fight and anger increases significantly for 20 seconds. Plus 3 strength, plus 3 speed, plus 3 durability, plus 3 stamina. His choice is easy. He selects the second option and gains the skill. He holds his maul with both hands and activates his new skill. He feels the power and it makes him laugh from the thrill to fight. He looks back down towards his opponents and charges at them. He brutally swings at one of their skulls, dropping them to the ground. However, he still strikes their head and knocks them out. Blood spurts over his uniform, but he doesn't think twice about moving on to his next opponent. He throws his maul up, then follows with a quick and strong 2-piece combo, a jab and a cross. Once this is done, he leaps up to grab his tumbling maul and whams his opponent in their head. Such strike knocks the villain right to their knees, then Deku swings at the other side of their head. They fall back and Deku rushes on to the next opponent. He takes out another 2 opponents and reduces the amount of people to just him, Shota and Shigaraki. His skill deactivates and he feels the fury within him fade. He looks up and sees what he's done. The scene is brutal and many of the villains are close to death. Some have cracks on their skulls and are bleeding excessively. He drops his weapon and mumbles, "What have I done?" The Nomu arrives and makes its presence known. Deku picks his weapon back up, but Shota places his hand on his chest. His system dissipates and he says, "Go." Any communication with the system doesn't seem to work. He isn't met by a single reply. He feels slightly weaker, but he retains the majority of his strength. Deku picks up his maul and runs off to the water beside him, but then All Might arrives to save all of them and he defeats such Nomu. Deku is sad that he didn't get to fight, but there would have been little he could really do against Nomu that was going toe to toe with All Might. One Air given notice of the sports festival and Deku takes no time to begin his tough training. He continues with his strength training and durability training, and as he goes a week into his training, he gets an on notification. Usually he'd get a few basic notifications for him to check his quests or something, but now it's something big. Level up. Plus 1 to all physical stats, plus 1 stat point. Due to the user's impressive feats of improvement, a special power will be provided alongside a skill of its kind. Plus 1 skill, plus 1 passive skill, plus 1 element. Elements Lightning, unlocked. He is very pleased with the element that he has been provided and quickly starts to piece the points together. This lightning can likely be used to fuel my lacking speed. If I can focus on strength and have this element just stop my speed lagging behind, I can become a much stronger hero with half the effort. Trait, Water Killer. The element lightning becomes 15% more damaging to water-based quirks. These also include quirks based on sea animals. He sees the trait and is actually quite happy. It just makes him that much better, and he realizes that he would be 15% stronger against Gang Orca. Skill, Static Charge. Lightning is coursed through the body and enhances the muscular cells. It mainly provides a significant increase in speed. There is no time limit and the skill can be used alongside any other skill. Plus 4 speed, plus 3 strength, plus 3 stamina. Skill, Ironside Fist. The fist engulfs in a harsh and unstable electricity. The user's speed increases by plus 9 and the strength increases by plus 6, but their durability decreases by minus 5 for 5 minutes after the skill. The arm's strength and speed further increases for 4 seconds. Once one punch is landed, the skill is deactivated and the cooldown begins. Plus 9 speed, plus 6 strength. Deku is astonished by the bulk of things that he's been provided with. He quickly gets to trying out both skills. He uses static charge and waits for something to happen. He looks down and sees a small trickle of lightning across his body, then a cluster of electricity circulating around himself. His muscles slightly enlarge and his eyes flash blue. He feels the newfound power and throws a punch. It's lightning fast and resembles a punch of a lightweight boxer. He slips and throws a ranged jab followed through with a cross and jump kick. Once he lands on a single foot, he feels the stamina drain. This skill is draining. I won't be able to use this for more than 30 seconds. If I use this alongside Norse power, I'll be so strong but so drained after. I don't even want to think of something like that. I wonder what this in the skill Ter's Fury could do. He deactivates such skill and begins using the next one. A cluster of electricity cloaks his fist and is much more prominent than his last skill. The amount of electricity Deku was cloaked with before was very minor and is similar to the amount of electricity he was cloaked with in canon. When I say this, I'm talking about when Deku just finished training with Gran Torino and he can just about use one thrall across his entire body, causing him to have a few trickles of electricity surrounding it. Static charge looks very similar to that, except it's just blue. Now the eye inside fist resembles something like the Chidori. His computer fires up and his phone charges up to 100% from the electricity flying around the place. He shakes his hand off and the electricity quickly falls apart and fades. He falls onto his bed after trying to remove the skill and says that skill is crazy powerful and surely going to be deadly. The final week comes to an end and the sports festival is right around the corner. Todoroki still approaches Deku at the sports festival and says, "I'm stronger than you, Izuku." Deku just gulps and awkwardly laughs. Okay. Todoroki's eye twitches from him not reacting well and he tries to aggravate him more. "I will beat you in this test and leave you in the dust." Deku scratches his head and just smiles it off. "You might, but I'm going as hard as I can. So is everyone else." Todoroki brushes him off and walks away. Now Deku prepares for the first event of the sports stadium, the obstacle race. He keeps his maul within his inventory to lower his weight and make him as fast as possible. The race begins and Todoroki and Bakugo charge forward. Deku doesn't rush in and use his new static charge and he knows how much it drains his stamina. To deal with the villain bots ahead of him, he retrieves his maul and charges at one. He slides under an attack and destroys its legs with a powerful strike of Thor. I can't use Norse power, I won't have the stamina to then use static charge, I'll have to use my other skills. Then a bunch of Mina's acid comes raining down on him. He instinctively grabs the acid with his grip and rip skill, solidifying it into a thick, white and destructive ball. He hurls it at the bar and destroys its components. Running off as this happens, Deku might not be using static charge but he's still lightning fast. I'd say he's almost on the level of an elite sprinter. His 100 meter sprint is in the high 10s and low 11s, around 10.8 to 11.1 seconds. He dashes off and slides right under an attack, showing off his athleticism. He backflips over another attack before landing and using Strike of Thor to destroy a 1-point bar. Bakugo and Todoroki are quite far ahead, but Deku is his smarts to aid him. "This is taking too long, I need to get out of here ASAP," Deku complains. With his quick thinking, he sums up a new solution to the problem. He throws his maul right back into his inventory and analyzes his situation. In a flash, he's off. As a robot comes charging towards him, he flips right over a swing and takes off. His acceleration and speed is quite impressive and just about gets him out of the confrontation. He continues running right off and doesn't slow down. After a short period of fast but paced running, he approaches the drop in the obstacle race. "How am I supposed to traverse this?" Deku blurts out after seeing just how far down this thing goes. His intelligence allows him to formulate a plan. "That attack has +9 speed, right? I can get across this even if it's just 4 seconds long. I'll just continue with my static charge." I don't even want to know what happens if I put two skills together. Although putting two skills together at the same time will make him extremely fast, he isn't stupid. The stamina drain from his skills seems too much to meddle with. As he theorized, he begins using the Ironside Fist skill. Leaving no time to waste, he leaps right over to a rock pillar ahead of him. Using the last few seconds as efficiently as possible, he just sprints and leaps with all of his force. It does fuel Deku with confidence as he acrobatically crosses the area, but it makes him lose focus. Taking a large leap, his skill fades mid-leap and dramatically reduces his leap. His quick thinking saves him once again, allowing him to use static charge and grab onto a rope with one hand. "I'm gonna die," Deku mumbles in a panic. Just looking down at the insanely deep fall makes him terrified. However, he snaps back into the game and begins climbing right back up to a pillar with his new trait. As he lands on the pillar, the passive skill really gives him a taste of its stamina drain. He cuts it off almost instantly as he feels this, but he doesn't take a rest and carries on going. The cooldown for Ironside Fist is 60 seconds and actually takes quite a bit of his stamina away by using it. It still isn't enough to take down his strong will though. As he finishes crossing the fall, no time is taken to rest. He swings his arm forward and plants his back foot for an explosive stride. This gives him a great start to his impressive acceleration. He notices a large pink explosion go off in the distance and he starts to notice the accumulation of ice below his feet. It isn't unless I'm making cautious of his strides, but he does take notice of it once he arrives at the minefield. Bakugo and Todoroki are seen trying to get over it. Todoroki is more concise and cautious with his movements, but Bakugo just flies across with his explosions, letting off several mines behind him. Deku just uses this rash technique and follows behind him since the mines he steps on have already been let off. This allows him to overtake Todoroki and get quite close to Bakugo. Once Todoroki crosses the minefield, he starts to speed up with his swift ice flooring technique. Deku starts to hear Todoroki approach him and it makes him panic. He could overtake him and leave him in the dust. He closes his eyes and wonders, do I need a skill to use my lightning powers or can I just use it? His system doesn't answer his query and Deku is forced to experiment. He calmly breathes while running as fast as he can and tries to utilize such power. He feels nothing but after a few seconds as he notices a crackle of lightning next to his feet. New trait, electricity. Trait, electricity. Electricity can be manipulated throughout the body. This trait can be trained and more advanced manipulative abilities can be developed over time. These small crackles of lightning develop and he starts cracking apart Todoroki's ice. He takes a large step and this large step is a bad mistake. The ice literally cracks and breaks apart beneath his feet. Small trickles of electricity also appear and just disappear in split seconds. He face plants right into his ice and Deku is able to zoom right ahead of him. Deku's speed now is certainly faster than any sprint of our world. With this power, I'd say he could get a 6 or 7 second 100 meters. Bakugo, while racing ahead, takes a quick glance behind him to see if anyone is approaching him. The person he sees is the person he'd least expect. Deku races forward and actually starts to catch up to Bakugo. His Ironside Fist has lost its cooldown and he can use Static Charge whenever. He's just not sure of the drain. As of now, he's quite tired and using these skills can really knacker him. However, the gap between him and Bakugo only continues to increase. It's the only chance he has. With the lack of his stamina, he uses Ironside Fist to overtake Bakugo in seconds. This leaves Bakugo in the dust and he continues to use his basic electrical manipulation to keep his speed. As they both approach the exit, Bakugo turns back and he blasts Deku with his explosions and races ahead. Deku tries to catch up, but he just can't. He gets a solid second place and drops to his knees in exhaustion. If he didn't use any skills, this run wouldn't have been a problem, but with all of the skills and especially the fall, he's drained now. While Deku pants and desperately tries to catch his breath, the rest of the students begin to arrive and finish the race. Todoroki gets third and Tenya gets a close fourth behind him. Deku is bummed he didn't get first, but he still gets a few hours on him from his second place. However, this makes him much more prepared for the next part of the festival. The cavalry battle begins, and since Deku wasn't first place, people are much more eager to team up with him. As he looks around for some teammates, a new notification pops up ahead of him. New quest, cavalry battle. Get first place in the cavalry battle. Quest rewards 3 stat points, 1 new skill. 3 stat points, I have to win this, Deku thinks to himself enthusiastically. Uraraka still approaches Deku and asks to be part of his squad. Deku also recruits the same Mei and Fumikage. This keeps their team identical, and for the sake of conveniency, I'll keep all the other teams the same. Bakugo will have just formed this team through fear and orders. So that will conclude the third part of What If Deku had a stat level in Quirk. I'm really liking the way this What If is going, and I'm really happy that I decided to remaster this What If. More parts are certainly to be out in the future, and the next one is probably coming out this Saturday. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video because I certainly enjoyed making it. If you want to see further parts of this What If, then please subscribe and turn on post notifications. Also, please tell me anything that I can improve on in the future to make this What If as good as possible. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.